What's up, guys? All right, so for today, I'm more or less looking for buys into sells. We'll start it off with GU. Yeah, broken that 15-minute low, just absolutely melted it. So clearly continuing with our bearish retracement, which we know on a higher time frame is so needed. We're so due for it after that massive run that we had. So doing what the market should be doing. We're just going to be patient and wait for the right spots to get in. So what we've had, obviously, take that 15-minute external low. Quite a solid inducement given it is against structure, and a lot of people would have been buying in this area, so that's great. I'm open to short-term buying it, but I'd rather wait for the sell. So what we've got here, a little bit of a retest area. I don't think this is going to act too much as retest. However, what we do have is the last demand to supply area that sits around that 50% of Asia. So I'm also looking to target this to sell from there. Or if we come up further, you do have like a bit of a decisional area here. You could even look at like this whole area as a decisional area. So I'm happy to look to sell from anywhere like in here or off the sweep of that piece of structure there. So I'm open to buying up to it, but I'm not going to be doing anything too aggressive. In terms of structure to work with on GU, we don't have a whole lot here at all, really. You've got a smaller 5-minute breakdown here, so we've got a couple of 5-minute breaks. Really, at the moment, you're more or less actually working like externally on the 1 minute inside of that leg. Everything else inside of here is more or less internal structure. So that's fine. We can work with it. But there's our internal break down here. So I would actually rather it come all the way down. I just highly, highly, highly doubt it's going to. That might equal high, so we can't actually work with that as an inducement. Yeah, we just don't have a lot of structure to be able to work with on buys for GU. And like I said, ultimately, I do want to be selling price given the bearish momentum that we've got. EU, similar sort of position. It depends on what the market's going to use as its internal range. All this is a little bit how you going in terms of like its quality of structure. Fair chances to use it as an inducement point of retest and having that as your whole internal leg. But it may also be using it as a break. And if it is going to be using it as a break, you've got break, mitigation, break, mitigation, break, mitigation of 15, miss the 5-minute point into a break. So we may be working inside of this leg, and we may also be working inside of that leg there. So I'm happy to play both sides of it. If we're going to be using this as a smart money trap, I believe it needs to at least come up and take this, if not take that. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm working with. If it's going to respect this, it'll also need to come through here and come up and take that. Given the momentum out of this point and the fact that we've got no retest of this break, no liquidity generated, I'm confident that this internal range isn't going to hold. So I'm happy to buy up to these areas to be able to then sell from them. Also open to selling from the sweep of this high and mitigation of that area. I am very open to that because if this point's going to be a smart money trap, it should need to at least come and take some liquidity, and I'll be break even by there. By then. So we'll see what it wants to do. We have now had a small 5-minute internal break, very internal as a break of structure. On the 1 minute, we've just built up a heap of lows. So if we can come down, sweep these lows, I'd be happy to work with something, inside of this new leg that it'll create. Ideally, we come up and take this, pull down, sweep that. I can then work with something down here or from a smart money reaction up inside of here. Work with something like that. So we'll see how it wants to develop and where it wants to push first. But I am open to buying through this area where it is currently. It is a 50% of Asia sweep. I just don't see it as enough of an inducement if this area is going to be a smart money trap. I do believe it needs to come up higher. That being said, I really don't love the structure that we have in EU right now. It's not overly confidence inspiring on the direction that we're looking to go and which range we're currently going to be working with. I do believe there's high probability that we're actually going to be working in that range, just given that this decision was mitigated, we pushed, we made new structure. So we did develop a complete new range, which was broken here. So high chance this is used as a smart money trap. It did sweep liquidity though, did lead to a break. So we've got that behind us and we've got a liquidity target. So we'll work with that. Yeah, on AU, I actually like AU the most. So AU, it did end up respecting this area. I did miss a sell inside of here. Um, yeah, that's just my bad. I should have respected that area and should have looked for it. Didn't take a loss in there, which is great. But I should have been looking for the sell rather than yeah, looking to buy through it because it hadn't come into what we have now, a decisional area yet. So that's my mistake on that. But now we are inside of our decisional area of that break. We've generated liquidity in multiple different ways, completing the structure cycle internally. We don't have any internal structure to be able to work with here, so we're a bit iffy in that sense. So if we can come up and mitigate this area, I'm then happy to work with obviously some sort of smart money trap play, and I'll take an entry out of there, looking to buy through it. Pretty simple. I'm not interested in selling AU until we come further up. And that's the gist of it. DXY has now retested that 4 hour break. So you may find it gives a little bit of a sell-off to develop that retest, which lines up with obviously EUGU pushing up a little bit higher and yeah, setting us up with our opportunity from there. In terms of news, okay, we got retail sales at 8 o'clock, 2 hours in, lots of 10 p.m. news. What's 10 p.m. news? Heaps of New York news tonight. Wow. Wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's gonna be quite a short window in that case then. Sweet. Done. We'll wrap it up there. We'll get into it and see how we go.